Fallout 76 is looking like it's going to be a ton of fun with your friends in the open world filled with new monsters and discoverables. After getting some hands-on time with 76, we learned a whole lot about how the moment-to-moment action is going to play out, how crafting has changed, and how the new camp system is going to function. So we put together a handy list to prepare you for your Fallout 76 adventures. You can access photo mode at any time from the main map, which lets you choose from a variety of filters, poses, borders, and you can even remove your character from the shot. Loading screens can display your photo mode pictures. Like previous Fallout games, you can find holotapes with games you can play on your Pip-Boy like Nuka Tapper. You can re-customize your character's look after creation by returning to the main menu. Fallout 76 features many different mini-challenges, including daily and weekly challenges. These award you with a meta-currency called atoms, used to buy cosmetics for your character at the Atomic Shop, including new poses for photo mode. Currently, a server will hold 24 people at a time, with some allowances made for those wishing to join as a group, but this may be subject to change. All containers in the game are instanced for each individual player. So if someone loots a safe before you, don't worry, there's something in there for you too. And yes, that does include resources like flowers. However, if it's outside of a container, the first person to grab it gets to keep it, but they will eventually respawn in their place. Each player has their own Vault-Tec stash, which appears like a large blue box. It's often found at campsites, or you can build your own. Anything you put into the stash will appear at any stash you use, allowing a safe place to store cumbersome items you don't want to haul around or have stolen. Crafting stations are plentiful, but only one person can use them at a time. However, anyone can interact with a station, even if it's in use, to reduce items to their base materials. Your camp can be placed almost anywhere outside of major locations or points of interest. These serve as both a base building hub and a free fast travel point. You're able to leave it where you want and move it to a new location whenever you wish, for a small fee of caps. You're also able to blueprint the current layout of your base so that you can quickly rebuild camps when moving locations or logging back into a new server. You can build musical instruments at your camp or find them. If multiple instruments are played at the same time, the instruments play the same song together. Fast travel costs caps when moving to most locations. The farther the distance, the higher the fee. However, freebies include fast traveling the Vault 76, your base, to your friends, to anyone in your party, or to their base. You can toggle your point of view while using the Pip-Boy to create an overlay menu that allows you to browse while still keeping an eye on your surroundings, and it makes your inventory easier to see. V.A.T.S does not slow down time, but essentially allows you to auto-aim at a target. Attacks will land based on the percentage chance to hit in V.A.T.S. It is not based on where you are specifically aiming. Certain perks will allow you to target limbs in V.A.T.S. When viewing the map, you can see the location of other players in the server, as well as the location of any current public events or imminent nuclear strike zones. From level 1 through 4, you'll be unable to attack other players, even with friendly fire. Once you reach level 5, pacifist mode will be turned off, but you can turn it back on if you don't wish to engage in PvP. If you're attacked by another player, initial damage will be reduced, and an alert will appear on screen to tell you, which includes that player's name. If you attack them back, damage is normalized. Party members can still take part in PvP against each other. Anyone who kills a player that has not fought back will be labeled a murderer. That player will have a bounty placed on their head along with a shiny new icon on the map that everyone can see, but the murderer cannot see the locations of other players. When your health reaches 0, or your radiation fills your health bar, your character will fall to their knees and await death. Like we all do, every day. Other players can get you back on your feet with a stim pack, and certain perk cards can let you use other items in place of stim packs to get back into the fight. Upon death, you drop a paper sack that contains all the junk materials you were carrying at the time. A side quest will start that points back to where you died to recover them, but all other players can also loot your dropped goods. You'll still keep all of your essential items like armor, weapons, and chems. Side quests can vary in length and may require you to visit several locations as part of a quest chain before you can complete it. Pretty basic Fallout stuff. Mothmen are real. These enemies can fly high into the air and teleport at random to close the distance on attackers or vanish from the line of sight at a moment's notice. Initially, players will only have a few food recipes and weapon/armor designs to craft from or mod. All other recipes and schematics must be learned by finding them in the wild. Certain locations have vendor bots that allow you to buy and sell an assortment of items, including food recipes, weapon plans and mods, and even base building plans. You can also find ammo and medicine vending machines outside for one-way transactions. You can randomly learn how to create new mods for weapons and armor by salvaging them. Leveling up only affects a few key things: your special points, obtaining and equipping perk cards, and being able to equip weapons and armor. Lockpicking and hacking have changed somewhat. Your skill starts at level 0, and you can only unlock things that match your skill level. In order to get a higher skill level, you'll have to obtain and equip perk cards that raise your level. Every few levels, you get a chance to open a pack of perk cards, which can include cards you wouldn't normally be able to unlock until a later level, or cosmetic animated variants of a perk card. Groups of enemies are often led by leaders that serves as the boss. They're marked by a crown over their level, and they boast higher health and damage, but also drop better loot. In addition to your health and action points, you'll also have to manage your hunger and thirst meters. They drop at a fairly slow rate, but if you let them go too low, you can suffer penalties to how many action points you have. You can contract diseases in a variety of ways upon reaching level 5. For example, eating bad food, sleeping on makeshift beds, or being attacked by certain creatures. All diseases have timers for how long they last if left untreated, and some diseases, like food parasites, can cause your hunger meter to drop at a much faster rate. Like Fallout 4, you can sometimes find power armor frames sitting out in the world just waiting to be claimed. Nuking an area will dramatically alter that landscape for an unspecified length of time. Though no locations will be destroyed, the environment will be altered to account for the increased radiation, and the enemies that inhabit the blast zone will be extremely powerful. Depending on where the nuke landed, the flora and fauna and enemy types can be varied. You can also find some of the rarer crafting materials in the altered landscape. The act of acquiring and detonating a nuke will have some difficulty, as you will have to collect multiple nuke codes and fight your way to the as yet unspecified place where the codes must be entered. The main questline eventually has you obtaining your own nuke, but we have been told you don't necessarily have to follow the main story if you don't want to, as there will be other methods of obtaining a nuke. Those were some new details we discovered about Fallout 76, but did we miss something? Let us know in the comments below, and for much more on Fallout, keep it right here on IGN.